Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on quite a journey
Oh, where are we headed?
into a truly monumental work. J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. It's shaped generations, really defined a genre.
Ah, classic. Definitely deep dive material.
Exactly. And our compass for this is a really detailed review we found. It unpacks, well, everything. Story, characters, themes.
The whole 9 yards, literary style, cultural impact too, I bet.
You got it. So our mission, as always, is to sort through all this rich stuff, pull out the key insights.
And give listeners a shortcut, a solid understanding, even if they think they know it inside out.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Even if you've walked those Middle-earth paths before. Okay, let's really dig in.
Sounds good. And it's the perfect subject because, the review nails it right away. The Lord of the Rings. It's not just a novel, it is a monumental literary achievement. That sets the tone.
Absolutely. Published way back, mid-50s, right? In 3 parts.
That's right. 1954 and 1955. The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. And what's amazing, and the review highlights this, is how it just transcends genre. It appeals to everyone, all ages, backgrounds.
It's universality. That's a great point. The themes, the storytelling, they just land.
Exactly. Which is what makes diving into this review so interesting.
Okay, so let's start with the story itself, the core narrative.
Right. Middle-earth. This incredible world.
And this epic quest to destroy the One Ring.
Not just any ring. This thing is power incarnate, made by the Dark Lord Sauron.
Right, to dominate everything. And the review really emphasizes how this immense task falls onto Frodo Baggins.
Yeah, a hobbit. Which is sort of unexpected.
Totally unexpected. This humble hobbit has to take this unbelievably dangerous thing all the way to Mount Doom.
The only place it can be destroyed, fiery chasm and all that.
The only way to save Middle-earth, basically.
A heavy burden for small shoulders.
No kidding. And something else the review highlighted that I found really interesting was the Fellowship itself, how it starts.
Yeah, the Fellowship.
Yeah.
Such an iconic group.
Totally. It's so diverse. You've got Gandalf the Wizard, Aragorn the Ranger, well, heir in exile.
Right. Legolas the elf, Gimli the dwarf, Boromir the man.
And Frodo's hobbit friends, Sam, Merry, Pippin, all together.
A real mix. The review points out how that unity is key at the start, but, well.
It doesn't last, does it?
No. The sheer pressure, the danger, it forces them apart. They splinter.
And everyone ends up on their own path, often pretty tough, solitary paths, too.
Which allows for incredible character development, actually.
That leads perfectly into the characters, because Tolkien didn't just create plot pieces, did he?
Oh, absolutely not. And the review really drives this home. His achievement in character depth, the realism, it's just stunning. They feel real.
Like who stands out? What does the review say?
Well, Frodo Baggins, obviously. He's seen as this reluctant hero, yes, but the review focuses on his self-sacrifice, that quiet strength he has.
He endures so much.
He really does. And then there's Samwise Gamgee. The review calls him perhaps the true heart of the story.
I love that. His loyalty is incredible.
Unwavering, that loyalty, that determination. It's the emotional anchor for the whole thing. Really powerful stuff.
And the others. Aragorn, Gandalf.
Yeah, great examples. Aragorn is presented as, the classic king in waiting, but he's torn, right, between humility and his massive destiny.
A lot of internal conflict there.
Definitely. And Gandalf, he's so much more than just a wizard. The review positions him as this wise, fatherly guide, a mentor, but also a military leader.
And almost like an agent of something bigger, divine will.
Kind of, yeah. An agent of providence, you could say. Then you have Gollum.
Smail.
Gollum. Such a tragic figure.
Absolutely. The review really digs into his corruption by the ring. It's a study in inner conflict, addiction, really.
Yeah.
Devastating.
You feel pity for him, even with everything he does.
You do, and even Sauron, the big bad.
Yeah.
You rarely see him directly.
But you feel him. Exactly. His presence is just oppressive. It symbolizes this absolute, almost elemental evil. It's not just a handful of main characters. The review says Middle-earth has this rich tapestry of characters, each with their own histories, languages, and cultures.
It's mind-boggling, the scale of it.
An astonishing feat of creation, truly.
So, with these complex characters and this epic struggle, we get into the deeper meanings, right? The themes. Beyond the adventure, what's really going on underneath.
Yeah, the review really digs into these numerous deep and enduring themes. It's what gives the story its weight.
Like what? What are the big ones?
Well, obviously, good versus evil. That's central.
But it's not simplistic.
Not at all. That's the key. It's explored with real nuance. through moral choices the characters make, their personal
And the
struggles.
corrupting influence of power, that seems huge.
Absolutely. Which leads right into the next theme, power and corruption. The One Ring is the perfect symbol for that.
How it can twist anyone, even with good intentions.
Precisely. Even noble intentions get warped. Then, on the flip side, the review highlights friendship and fellowship.
The bonds between the characters.
Exactly. Bonds that cross lines of race, culture, everything. It shows unity as this powerful force against the darkness. It's really quite moving.
Yeah, Sam and Frodo, Legolas and Gimli.
Those relationships are critical. And underneath it all, there's hope and perseverance. Characters just clinging to hope, even when things look completely bleak.
That feels very relevant.
It does. And the review makes a connection to Tolkien's own experiences in World War I. That sense of endurance, small acts of courage, meaning everything.
Wow. And one more.
Yes, the contrast between the natural world and industrialization. You see it with the Ents, the Shire, this love for nature.
Versus the destruction.
Orcs.
Arsvan's machines.
Exactly. The destructive forces of war and industry encroaching on the natural, peaceful world. It's quite poignant.
It's amazing how he weaves all that in. But how did he do it? What about his actual writing? His style, the review must touch on that.
Oh, definitely. It describes his prose as lyrical, archaic, and richly descriptive.
Archaic. Like old-fashioned.
Yeah, but in a way that lends weight, It gives it this ancient, legendary feel. It's part of the whole package. And his world building, the review just calls it unmatched.
Can't argue with that.
It's not just a setting. It's a fully realized universe. He created myths, languages, Elvish, Dwarvish,
Maps, family trees.
detailed maps, genealogies, histories. It's incredible. The review says he blends epic poetry, historical narrative, and mythic storytelling. It's a unique mix.
And the pacing. Some people find it slow at the start.
Right, the review acknowledges that, especially the early chapters. But it argues that this isn't a bug, it's a feature. It mirrors the slow, epic buildup of an ancient saga.
Ah, okay. It draws you in gradually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It immerses you deeply in the world before everything kicks off, that careful construction, that deliberation. It's key to why it feels so immersive.
That immersion definitely sparks debate, especially around symbolism, allegory. People see parallels everywhere.
That's a really interesting point, and the review clarifies Tolkien's view on this. He actually pushed back against the idea of direct allegory.
He didn't like it.
Not really. He preferred the term applicable, meaning, yes, you can find connections, interpretations.
But it's not a strict one-to-one code, like this character equals this historical figure.
Exactly. It's open, not fixed. But as the review points out, readers have drawn really strong parallels. It's almost unavoidable.
Like what sort of things?
Well, the big one is echoes of World War I and II. The industrial warfare, the loss of innocence, the resistance against this overwhelming tyranny.
You can definitely see that for sure.
Others see deep connections to Christian morality. Frodo as a Christ figure carrying this burden, Gandalf's resurrection.
The theme of self-sacrifice.
Right. And then there's Gollum again, his obsession with the ring.
Right.
It's seen as a powerful take on addiction and temptation.
So lots of layers for people to connect with.
Absolutely. And the fact that it supports all these different valid readings just speaks to its depth.
And regardless of those interpretations, the impact, the legacy, it's just huge, foundational, really.
It absolutely is. The review is crystal clear. The Lord of the Rings revolutionized fantasy literature, period. It laid the foundation for modern high fantasy as we know it.
You can see its DNA everywhere.
Everywhere. Think of authors like J.R.R. Martin, Terry Brooks, Robert Jordan. So many others built on what Tolkien created. The world building, the scope.
And then came the movies. Peter Jackson's films.
Right. Which, as the review notes, caused the cultural impact to just explode even further, 2001 to 2003.
Brought it to a massive global audience.
Massive. And they were critically acclaimed, huge box office successes. The review mentions the book itself, translated into over 40 languages, sold over 150 million copies worldwide, plus countless adaptations, games, academic studies, fan communities. It's incredible.
So connecting this to the bigger picture, this enduring popularity, what does it tell us?
It tells us there's something fundamentally timeless about it. It speaks to something deeply human beyond just being a good story. It resonates across cultures, generations. It just lasts.
An undeniable phenomenon. But, even masterpieces get criticized. Does the review touch on any common critiques?
It does, yeah. It takes a balanced look. One thing that comes up is the pacing.
We mentioned that. Slow for some tastes.
Right. Especially maybe the early Shire bits or the detailed descriptions. Some readers just want things to move faster.
Okay, what else?
Another point often raised is the limited female roles. Now, characters like Elwyn and Galadriel are undeniably powerful, pivotal even.
They are strong characters.
Definitely. But the overall number of significant female characters is small compared to the men. That's a point of discussion.
Fair enough. Anything else?
Finally, the review mentions how some modern readers raise questions about Eurocentric perspectives or racial overtones.
The portrayal of certain races. Orcs, Easterlings.
Yeah, the way some groups are depicted as maybe inherently good or inherently evil, it's something discussed through a modern lens.
So valid points for discussion.
Absolutely. And the review stresses that even with these critiques, it remains a masterwork. These discussions actually keep it relevant, keep us engaging with it. It's celebrated for its depth, its philosophical side.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've journeyed through the plot, met the characters, unpacked the themes, looked at the writing itself.
Talked about symbolism, legacy, even the criticisms.
It's just so clear that The Lord of the Rings isn't just a story. It really is, like the review said, a mythic journey, a meditation on power, humility.
And a timeless tale of friendship and courage.
It really holds up.
It does. Tolkien didn't just write a novel, he gave us a whole literary universe. It feels real, complex.
You can read it so many ways.
Exactly. As an adventure, a philosophical piece, a kind of myth. Its power just endures. It still enchants, still inspires, decades later.
A testament to great storytelling.
And meticulously crafted world building, universal ideas.
So as you, our listener, reflect on all this, maybe think about which specific bit resonated most with you today. Was it Frodo's strength, Sam's loyalty?
Or maybe the ideas about power or hope.
Yeah, think about how that might connect perhaps to stories or challenges in your own life. We really hope this deep dive encourages you to keep exploring.
There's always more to discover in that universe.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.